disappointing result and performance overall, really. Two different styles of play, two teams not creating so much. Still felt at half-time we had the chance to go in at 2-1. We didn't quite make that, and then we're disappointed with the two early goals in the second half. You know, we've got to squeeze the line. That's the principle of our game, and then we can catch probably 2 or 3 players offside, but we didn't move. Becomes a fight, and then we need to show more determination for the shot. You know, we speak beforehand about the young winger that comes in. He likes to shoot. We see his goal against Falkirk, and we did that well in the first half, but second half we switched off that. So when he came in, we've got more determination to stop that. The penalty then, obviously, again, something we can avoid, and then all of a sudden we're chasing the game. But yeah, just lacking that bit of quality and creativity in the final third that our Celtic teams normally have, that relentless nature to it. So in a game where we should take something from, we didn't play well enough and made some basic mistakes to lose the game.
Were you surprised by that, Brendan? Because you've spoken about that before after games in the league this season, that not quite having that connectivity in the final third, but we saw on Thursday night the team looked like they were heading in the right direction. Got back into the game in the first half, and it looked like you were back in the team. Were you surprised it didn't go on from there in the second half? Yeah,
I thought when we got the first goal we had some really good moments, but I also think we gave the ball away a lot as well. We were in good phases of the game, but then we were loose with our passing, and then that didn't allow us to build enough pressure then in the final third. So if you can't do that, then it just became a wee bit bitty for us.
It's a difficult game for young Dean Murray to come into, where you feel the need to pick him up after his mistakes for the own goal and the penalty.
Yeah, listen, I think it's all about learning. You know, when you're a young player, Dane's been in around it now for a little while. He's played in some games for us and come into games. So yeah, if you want to play for Celtic, you're obviously these are the challenges that you want to come and perform in. So, but yeah, listen, he's a good kid. He trained really well. We were looking for him to give us the balance. He won some great headers, some really good moments. It was just unfortunate how he started the game, but he kept going, showed his mentality, and yeah, he learned from the mistakes.
Brendan, the board's come in for a fair bit of criticism for not backing you, but you've mentioned that you've got to try and get something out of the players that you have at your disposal. Do you start to take responsibility for the fact that you can't get a trick out of them domestically to build momentum?
I've always taken responsibility. There's never been a time that I haven't. So I suggest when you're saying, you said, is there a time? There's always a time. When you're the manager at Celtic, you're responsible for the results, despite whatever else happens. So that responsibility is on me. Yeah.
What are you going to do? What can you do right now to try and get something out of them? Because clearly there's a lack of confidence. You're playing players like Dane Murray, asking them to come in when you maybe have options in the bench. Austin Trusty's a £6 million player.
Yeah, he's left-footed. The balance of the centre halves works better for me when we have two. The balance of a left footer and a right footer at centre half. So the price tag never comes into it. It's about what the team needs.
Do you think you can still get them back on track?
Yeah, I think the context of today is obviously disappointing in the game and the result. But there's 29 games left, and if Hearts are at their best today, then of course if we can find a consistent level of performance, then there's absolutely no doubt we can make up the points difference. But Hearts have made a good start, really good start in terms of points. Our issues have been well documented, but we're working very hard with limited time to work on the field to find the solutions. Sometimes we're having to do it in the game, playing players, and but yeah, we'll continue to work to do that.
When you say there's plenty of time left, how seriously do you have to take Hearts' title credentials this season?
Well, I think when you make a strong start, and which they've done, they've obviously got one game a week, which is a big advantage. and of course Derek will feel that he can keep them up there. But it's so early. Whatever, win, lose or draw the game today, we wouldn't have been getting carried away with anything. So many games, and we'll continue to focus on trying to maximise what we can get from the players.
Brendan, I know you swapped Malacusia for Tynecastle, but was there a temptation to move Tynecastle to the right, keep him on?
No,
'Cause-
never.
okay.
No, never. He's a left-sided player. He doesn't play off the right. He doesn't enjoy playing there. He doesn't want to play there. He's a left-sided player.
Brendan,
Injured guys, Brendan, Maeda, Johnson, Ian Atchell, when you would expect those three to do that?
Dyson will join training tomorrow. Ali and Kells probably not as serious as we first thought, but I'm not sure they'll make Wednesday. So, but they'll definitely be a few weeks.
Dyson got a chance for Wednesday if he's coming back.
I don't know. We have to look at that, and we have to make sure that we introduce him at the right moment. So, but thankfully, he's back training.
Is Jemai Simpson Pusey a player that might feature in your squad soon?
Listen, we can. We've got so many games, so I'm sure all the players at some point will feature. But yeah, that's something. But we look at all the players and find what we think is the right balance.
Brendan, you talk about obviously the quality. Do you think that this team's got the hunger and motivation to become champions, the same hunger and motivation they had last season?
Yeah, you always have to believe that, and you always have to have that. As Celtic, you know, you're brought in here to deal with pressure, and like I said, some of these players are growing into it, and but like I say, it's one you have to grow into very quickly. But I have a good bunch of boys that they work hard every day, and today I felt we had a really good opportunity today if we play our game and have that courage and belief to play, but we made too many mistakes on and off the ball, and didn't get the result.
Can you coach inconsistency out of a team? Because between Sunday, Thursday, today, there is a big difference in these performances. Can that be coached out of players?
Yeah, well, I think the third game in the week is a challenge, but we have to fill the players with confidence. There's not a lot. Obviously, they play today, recover tomorrow. The second day, so Tuesday is always the day where players feel it more, and then we've got the game Wednesday. So it's more mental. You know, you're having to keep the players, the confidence up. You know, you can't have a toxic positivity either. You know, you've got to be clear. You've got to be where the issues are, but then you have to pick the players up, and that's what we've got to do for Wednesday.
Brendan, does the noise outside the club, the fans being discontented with the board, does that affect your day-to-day work at all? Does it leach into it, or is it something you can shut out for yourself and the players?
Yeah, I think it's something that certainly on a day-to-day, it doesn't have any impact. But I think I mentioned it the other day. I'm pretty sure there'll be plenty of studies around the world done at various universities and wherever that'll tell you what the impact of that disharmony does. But on a day-to-day basis, we focus on our training, focus on the work on the field, and trying to maximise what we can get from the players.
Brendan, this is the first time you've been in this position
Mm-hmm.
in the league. How's your confidence of it turning around?
Absolutely fine. It's my determination is pretty much there. It's I've never worked harder in all my time here. So the motivation is there to try and flip the levels that we're at, and yeah. So it's absolutely fine. It's still so early. I think that's the key point in it all. Hearts have made a fantastic start, got the points on the board, but there's so much football to play, and we just got to hang in there at this moment, find those performances, find the results, and hopefully our levels will improve as the season goes on.